cuff because I've been feeling it. The mood. Oh, the mood's been lovely. The energy has been good. Last couple of days, I'm enjoying the a little bit of a schedule pressure release. Some people complain that they're only getting 3 hours, or I'm sorry, 3 hours. Even I'd complain of 3 hours. 3 days a week to work in whatever particular kind of more seasonally oriented gig you're working at. Not me. I can't just sit there and, fight to abolish all of my time towards the almighty dollar. I got all sorts of personal me time that builds towards more constructive things that I need to do. Right? It's always a podcast. It's always practicing guitar. It's always a hike. It's always a magic ritual. It's always something. But I'm incredibly grateful for all the new support that I'm seeing out there. It's just like, it's quite something. Like, I have not built much time hanging out on the one-on-one podcast. And then last night I'm hanging out in the chat group, and I'm getting at least 2 different people that are familiar with my work complimenting me in the chat room, like, oh shit. And so that was heartwarming, and it was on a great episode too, because it was a Jungian episode. I forgot the guy's name, and he was real good. So I also appreciated that it was happening in an air of conversation that I was really interested in, because there's a lot of podcasts that I may like the PBs there in the chat room, or even going to catch the episode, because it's like nowhere near my wheelhouse of particular interest. Right? So, I've just got that going on for me. It's great. And it helps that I've got allies. Shout out my Cherie. Everybody out there in the YouTube chat verse. She's one of those YouTube wrench people. It's like that's kind of like when it comes to the way things are on the platform. It's just like some people, they just, they're the greatest cheerleaders that YouTube has provided the ability to help you with, right? Which gets into interesting ideas to appreciate in your world, right? As I talk about Martin Heidegger's Being in Time, I dropped a new episode last night if you missed it. Right? Well, a prior chapter, quite a while back now in the reads, talked about other people as utilities, as a thought exercise. It wasn't a dehumanizing practice. It was just taking a look at something from a deeply personal, working from the self point of view, right? And it's just being honest about sometimes we feel so disconnected that another person doesn't seem like a reality to us, and that other person is more of a utility within a situation, right? And that's just a thought exercise. People like my Cherie are fucking awesome peoples, good peoples, and the utility aspect of it just happens to be a product of my Dasein. But that's, obviously she's still a person, right? So, it's working with the language of talking about that. I want to be able to kind of master, so I never have to spend too much time like I am now prefacing when I want to bring something important like that up, that it doesn't sound like I am establishing some dehumanist position, because I get it, because because you can get utilitarian about it, and that's not the intention. I think this goes along with the many other German thinkers that get the bad rap for the interpretation of their mind, like Nietzsche, right? So that's really all I wanted to say is welcome aboard to everybody who's checking out the Zerilath thing, my little channel that is, sloppy at best. It's all right. I'm really not meant for being behind a computer. I'm really not meant for it. I'm not built for it. I don't like it. I will always be somebody who knows that computers are too much to be something that a person can own, right? I mean, you own a computer, right? It's fine. You've had one for years. You know how to use it and shit. But let's face it, your computer's not your own. As a tool that must interface with networks, it's constantly going through updates that you didn't that you have to accept, that you don't know nothing about how it's coded and programmed and its particular purpose, and it's based on trust. There's a trust that is to be established. And I don't see any efforts to establish that trust. It's just something you have to accept, and anything goes, and thus everything is forfeit that you do on it, right? This is why you can't live like this way. Like, the only way you can live this way is if your sole interest is to always be within the bounds of censorship, right? That's as far as the social media aspect of it. I'm seriously just talking about computers. Just fucking computers. All that micro tech that we don't know how to do. A processor breaks down. I can't just build a processor. I have to go buy a processor and I have to trust the infrastructure of that processor doesn't have some Trojan horse in it, right? Because they kind of have to, almost. It would seem, in the way the nature of these things unfold. So I sit here because I have a love of life. I have a love of the real world. I can't handle how much energy goes into it all. I really don't want to. Unless, of course, I find myself with a plan for something, and I find it worth it to go and invest the money in the education for such a thing. At that point, I'm taking the Mark Passio new, you are the media, or whatever heck his media education package is. That will be, that will be a different and its own animal. Anyway, I am a couple minutes late, so I am going to catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see if I can put something out for you before the weekend, when I'm going to be doing all sorts of fun stuff. All right, later.